In episode 6, we saw the new Prince of Dorne, who was actually mentioned in an earlier episode.
Thankfully, she is losing allies by the day. Yara Greyjoy has retaken the Iron Islands in her queen's name. The new Prince of Dorne pledges his support.
And we all thought, cool. Who is he? Oh, you're not gonna tell us his identity or even his name? Cool. But we may now know his true identity thanks to the actor that played him. I'm sorry, Quentin fans. I'm so sorry. Alright, it's been almost 2 weeks, or maybe 2 weeks at this point, since the finale of Game of Thrones, so you may have forgotten what the new Prince of Dorne looks like. So just in case, here he is, in all his glory. Very Martell looking, right? Well, maybe. The actor for the new Prince of Dorne, Toby Osmond, did an interview where he shed a little light on who his character could be. And again, Quentin fans, I'm sorry. He shut you down hard. So hard. But first, let's take a look at the Martell family tree so we can have a better idea of what the actor was talking about in his interview. So, of course, we have the Prince of Dorne, Doran, who had only one son in the show. That we know of. Of course, in the books, he had 2 sons and a daughter, but, you know, beyond that, they really didn't give us anything extra. He had a younger brother named Oberyn, who had 8 bastard daughters, including these 3 beautiful, wonderful, fantastic ladies that I miss every day. There was also their sister, Ilya Martell, who was the younger sister of Doran, but the older sister by only a year of Oberyn, but she was killed during Robert's Rebellion at the sack of King's Landing, and supposedly both her children died there too.
You raped her? You murdered her? You killed her children.
Unless you're a fake Aegon supporter, then I don't know how to help you as a person. It's gonna take a lot of therapy to work through what's going on with you. Now, there are 2 brothers that died as infants that were Doran's younger brothers in the books, Mors and Oliver, but, you know, they died. It's kind of hard to be an adult when you die as a baby. I mean, that's my guess, but I'm only a cellular molecular biologist, and what do we know? I know you shouldn't touch elevator buttons. Seriously, don't. So who was this new Prince of Dorne if Oberyn and Doran had no other brothers and no living male children? I mean, Oberyn never had any male children that we know of. So who is he? Well, apparently the showrunners D&D never even gave the new Prince of Dorne, the actor, a name. Yeah, they were like, fuck it. Political intrigue is the most interesting thing about this show. We're not gonna give you shit. Guess who's the new Prince of Dorne? It could be Moonboy for all you know. Oh my god, maybe it is Moonboy. That theory's probably already out there on the internet. It actually wouldn't surprise me if D&D never came up with who exactly the new Prince of Dorne is and what house he belongs to. We know that the Dornish plotline in the show kind of had some backlash, and then D&D did what they do for most things that cause a backlash. They either mock it, tell you you're really stupid and you just don't understand it, or they just sweep it under the rug. So I'm more than sure that's what they're going to do with the new Prince of Dorne. I actually love some of the super bitter-ass interviews from some of the Dornish actors who said, yeah, they built up our storyline as being a lot more important and more prominent, and then they just killed us. Oops. But you want to know what? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that D&D didn't tell the actor who he was, because the actor did an interview for the new Prince of Dorne and said who he thinks he is, and his best guesses on his relation to House Martell. His best guess? He's actually the younger brother of Doran and Oberyn, which they took away some children of Doran, so why not add in a brother? So, in an interview, the actor for the new Prince of Dorne said,
"Someone mentioned a possible name, but I think it was an invented name, so it would have just been a series name. A lot of people have suggested Quentyn Martell, of course, but just doing the math, I thought, well, Prince Doran's kid, I'm too old, unfortunately. So I just figured I was the younger brother of Doran and the Red Viper. Or there was an interesting fan theory about another house in Sunspear and Dorne. I can't remember the name of it, but I'd like to think that I'm a Martell."
I think he's talking about House Ironwood or House Euronwood or Yarnwood, depending on who you're talking to and who you want to fight to about how to pronounce fictional names. I try to say Ironwood and Euronwood interchangeably just because I like to, and it triggers some people. Fictional names. The new Prince of Dorne coming from House Ironwood could make sense because that house had some conflicts with House Martell and some hurt feelings for quite a few years.
In fact, in the books, these guys still call themselves Blood Royal, which is an ancient title dating back to when they were rulers of their own kingdom in Dorne and were considered High Kings of Dorne. Considering their troublesome relationship with the Martells, I could see them jumping on the opportunity to take control of Dorne.
But let's continue on because Toby actually had more to say about how his character could have been the younger brother of Doran and Oberyn.
And Pedro Pascal, Oberyn, what a fantastic character as well. I was shocked. I was like, are you sure you're casting me as his younger brother? Which is what I was assuming it was. Also, fun fact, I was given his scimitar, his sword that was custom made for his character, but he never used it. He used his spear, of course. So yeah, on set, I had this beautiful snake-headed scimitar. It had, I think it was a cobra on top of the hilt, and then the crossguard heads were snakes as well. Beautiful, beautiful sword.
Just with that, I would honestly say that he's the younger brother of Doran and Oberyn. There are worse explanations, and again, they took away some family members of House Martell, so why not add some in? Or maybe they're just saying one of the dead infants from the books, Moors or Oliver, lived. That's cool too. However, why didn't Ilaria and the Sand Snakes take them out then? They made it sound like they had taken care of all of the Martell family, so maybe he was in Essos for some reason and outside their grip or plotting. Sometimes Martell brothers have to go to Essos for a variety of naughty reasons. I mean, maybe he was sent away somewhere or exploring somewhere and Ilaria couldn't get to him, and so she was just like, you know, me and the Sand Snakes will have enough power and control of Dorne by the time he hears anything that's going on.
So what if the sword was taken by another Dornish house to help cement that they are the new prince? Wouldn't be the first time a sword or a weapon in general is used to show legitimacy and get people to rally behind someone.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those things where years on out we get some behind the scenes stuff and D&D go, oh yeah, we planned the whole time for this to be a dude from House Ironwood and he took the weapon from Oberyn to cement his claim as Prince of Dorne. That's not how they actually sound. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to do D&D voices because they're just so manly. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that the new Prince of Dorne is actually the younger brother of Oberyn and Doran? Do you think he's actually a member of House Ironwood? Or if you're way cooler, House Euronwood? God, that sounds so much hotter than Ironwood. I'm personally going with younger brother of the House Martell, but, you let me know in the comment section down below.